James is a mixed traffic engine. He can pull freight and passengers with ease. That of course doesn't mean he'll necessarily want to pull anything he's told to. He's often shown to shadow Gordon in the show, and he has a bit of a Napoleon complex. James is a character that's just a fun time in my opinion. He bounces off characters like Toby and Percy really well. He doesn't have the most thorough of arcs. In fact, many have said his is similar to Thomas's. But I don't think that detracts from his character. Though, he is someone I don't think about too often, I guess. James isn't my favorite, but he's still special to me. And without further ado, here's how I built James, the Red Engine. So, I forgot to take pictures of his build process. Sorry, not sorry. So way back in my pre-channel days, I wanted to upgrade my Thomas Wooden Railway James, which was in a sorry state. And well, I think I did a pretty fine job at it. This was the first time I ever made a custom after all. Then I created my channel. He, like Thomas, got a black running board, which... Ew. And then nothing else. James's model didn't really change as much as Thomas, and especially not Percy. James was made in Tinkercad a bit after Percy. I debated on giving him a bogey, but ultimately decided to go without it as I didn't want to overcomplicate things. Maybe later. I printed it, and nothing really went wrong with that, so now it's time for painting. Black primer, just like Thomas. I used apple barrel paint, and about 3 coats were enough. I got inspired by Zane's James to use white line instead of black or blue. I tried to use vinyl and it was bad. I'm not showing pictures of it because I don't have them, but trust me bro, it was bad. It was very bad. So I decided to just go with paint. I used a knockoff Take-Along James for the face, and I'm somewhat happy with this decision. Just kidding!
This is why you don't make a script before you actually finish the model.
So I could have used these faces, but the more I sat on it, the more I didn't want to. Faces are hard to get, and cost money. And I don't have a job, so it just didn't seem feasible to do 3D faces anymore. So out of curiosity, I printed out some faces to test on James, and I was genuinely shocked at how much I liked them. They are a lot more expressive, a lot cheaper, and easier to make, so I decided to change all of them. I know a lot of people might not like this change, but I think it was ultimately the best decision. What? What's wrong? This script's a lot shorter than the others.
Oh, that's because you don't have this many models to go through. Or nay, you.
Oh, we're gonna fix that right now. Yo, need your help. Can you come here?
Can't. Getting clothes.
Alright, well, hurry up and get over here.
I can't find them.
What do you mean you can't find them?
I can't find them. There's only soup.
What do you mean there's only soup?
It means there's only soup.
Well then get out of the soup aisle.
Alright, you don't have to shout at me.
There's more soup.
What do you mean there's more soup?
There's just more soup.
Go into the next aisle.
There's still soup.
Where are you right now?
I'm at soup.
What do you mean you're at soup?
I mean, I'm at soup.
What store are you at right now?
I'm at the soup store.
Why are you buying clothes at the soup store? Well, that clearly didn't work. Hey Puff, I'm making a video about my James model and it's a bit too short.
What do you want me to do about it?
Just talk about your top hat model, I guess.
Alright, I'll head over.
Nah, you don't need to.
Why?
Yeah, I kinda need this one done now, so...
Alright, let's just get this over with. So, for the hole, basically, I took a piece of cardboard, drew the shape of the hole on it that I wanted, the little bottom part, and cut it out. I set that down, and I took some thinner, more thicker kind of cardboard, stuck them together, and traced out the shape of the hole that I wanted, because Top Hat's front's a little more up than the others, at least in my opinion I think it is. And I cut that out, I glued it to the piece of the piece that I talked about earlier, the hole's bottom. And I did that twice for both sides, and I kept Thomas with me. I always measured with Thomas to make sure it was the right size, because I didn't want it to be too big, I didn't want it to be too small. If you follow along the tutorial that Lemmy does, I recommend having Thomas with you or any other wooden railway thing. That way you make sure it's the same height and general size. So once I got that done, I took the already it already looked like the hole. Good shape, but wasn't smooth, really rugged. So I just went over it over and over and over again with tape until it was just very solid. And I went over it again afterwards with another layer of tape so it was really smooth. And the deck, same thing as the bottom. I just traced out the bottom of the deck, cut it a little bit thinner, and stuck it right in the middle. And Thomas for scaling again, looked perfect. I was happy with it, moved on to the next step. The superstructure, I didn't take any photos. Another video on that here in a moment. But I basically traced out the shape that I wanted the superstructure to be, took a thin piece of cardboard, put it on the deck, traced it out again, and then cut that in kind of like a oval, but not quite an oval. I'll explain it better in the video, but here's what it looked like, and then you'll see the video of how hopefully I explain it a little better.
Now, as I probably stated in the video, I'm a Jew. I didn't really, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, I'll censor that. I didn't really take any photos of me making the hole, but pretty simple. Here, like, that aside. Not the hole, the superstructure. Thin cardboard all around. This is thin, this is all thin, and I basically just bent it around the top piece here, which that line that you drew on the deck, which you can't see it anymore because of the paint, but there was a line outline I made for it. I just cut the shape out of that line on a piece of cardboard and then wrapped this piece all around it, glued it together, and then there's clay in there that it was really cheap clay, like really cheap clay. If you do this, get some better clay than I did, because good heavens, that clay I used it's still like soft. It's a very soft. Oh no, it's pretty hard, but not really hard. It's really gooey kind of clay. It does give it some extra weight and whatnot though. Basically glued a bunch of stuff together on the deck. I think it's like 5 thin layers of cardboard, glued it to the deck, and then taped over it. And then I took this piece of cardboard, and here you see, I wrapped that around this, then I taped it together, stuck it inside, and then glued it to the top of this, and that basically allows it to sit on there nice and... It gets snug after a bit. Once you pull it off, for some reason, it doesn't sit there very tight, but that's basically that.
Well, unsurprisingly, I also forgot to take photos of me making the helm, so you guys are going back to future video puff. This might repeat a few times, get used to it.
Okay, well, the helm was pretty simple, or I guess you could call it the head as well. Fully removable. It basically takes the same process as the superstructure and the whole combined. It's like both of them combined. You just take like a piece of cardboard like that, cut it to the size you want. I measured it on top of that to make sure I got the size I needed, and for Top Hat it was a little bit different for what I did, because Top Hat's the only tug I really know that has this little ledge here instead of just being a like normal top part. So pretty easy thing, just piece of cardboard, bent around that, taped it all together with glue. The head is basically the exact same process as the superstructure. Completely filled with clay, that cheap clay obviously, it's such a pain. And I didn't talk about this on the helm, not the helm, the hole last time. I used toothpicks for this. It just sticks on, and it swivels like so. Very, very easy. Not the most complicated step or the most interesting step, but voila.
So the next step I did was making the funnel, the hat, and the mask. Now, before I did all that, I covered everything in a ton of masking tape, as you can clearly see, and it kind of smooths it out, so when you paint it, it looks a lot better. The funnel was just a thick piece of card that I rolled up, pretty simple, turned it into a tube, glued it on. Here's a photo of it next to the first ever wooden boat I ever made, which was, made out of garbage, but, it looks alright. Painting process began, and I think, I don't remember the colors I used, but pretty much just yellow, black, and red is all you really need for Top Hat. I used masking tape to get the perfect doors, which they're not very perfect, and then all the portholes were three-handed. You can probably make them look a lot better, but I was lazy. Again, didn't take any photos while making the hat, so back to Future Puff yet again.
Okay, so I didn't, again, take photos while I was making his hat, so let me just decapitate this dude. So, I can't take his hat off. His hat is unremovable. I just glued it on. I wouldn't recommend doing that. I would make it separatable, but mine is not separatable, so it's just on there forever. What I did for the hat, which it's pretty easy. I just took tinfoil. Here's Tencent's hat. He's not finished, but I had his hat done. You just kind of make tinfoil in the shape. The bottom piece, this round piece, cardboard. Always make this out of cardboard. It makes it so much easier than making the whole thing out of tinfoil. It's just basically tinfoil wrapped in masking tape, and then Mod Podged over the top of it to make it more smooth, and then painted. That's pretty much it. And then Top Hat's hat was different than Tencent's because it was, it's obviously a top hat, but you can kind of tell it's just tinfoil poorly shaped into a hat and then taped over. But wearing paint always helped mine with that. And that's pretty much it for that.
And that's it. That's Top Hat. This video, not the greatest quality, but my computer has deleted this video like 4 different times off of my computer, so I've had to remake it 4 different times, and I got kind of fed up with it, so we're gonna have to live with this. Oh, and the face was made by my friend Sudrian Manor. Go give him a follow. Really amazing face. He made the face for my Lord Stinker too, but he doesn't appear in this. And yeah. Thank you all for watching, and have a good rest of your day, week, or month.